WWE Universe to its core. Less than a minute ago, Nick Aldis dropped a bombshell on SmackDown, revealing the real identity of the person who attacked Jacob Fatu, and the revelation has left fans absolutely stunned. This wasn't just another backstage mystery being solved, it's a betrayal that hits right at the heart of the bloodline, exposing cracks in Roman Reigns' empire and challenging everything we thought we knew about loyalty, trust, and family in WWE. The atmosphere was electric as Aldis meticulously laid out the evidence, leaving no doubt about who was responsible. Now, the wrestling world is buzzing with questions. How will Roman respond? Can the bloodline survive this internal upheaval? And what does this mean for Jacob Fatu's future? A conspiracy. Within the bloodline, what made this revelation so shocking was that Jacob Fatu's attacker wasn't from a rival faction or an outside enemy. The assault came from within the bloodline itself, a trusted member who had been working to destabilize Roman Reigns' organization from the inside. The attacker's motivations weren't shallow. They were deeply personal, rooted in frustration over years of sacrifice, manipulation, and the relentless hierarchy that prioritized Reigns' ambitions over the well-being of his family. This insider strike upended the very foundation of the bloodline and forced fans and wrestlers alike to reconsider how loyalty and fear coexist in Roman's empire. The attack wasn't random, it was strategic and premeditated, designed to make a statement. By revealing this betrayal, Nick Aldis exposed a complex, emotionally charged scenario that questioned not just actions, but the very structure of leadership within WWE's most dominant faction. The investigation that changed everything. Nick Aldis didn't reveal the attacker without evidence. Reports indicate he conducted an exhaustive investigation, reviewing security footage, analyzing movement patterns, interviewing witnesses, and even cross-referencing timestamps to establish an airtight case. The process resembled a law enforcement investigation more than a traditional WWE storyline, which lent an authenticity that made the revelation undeniable. Every angle, every motion, and every reflection in the security footage was scrutinized to identify the perpetrator. Aldis's meticulous approach ensured that there was no room for dispute when he finally exposed the attacker. Fans watching on SmackDown were captivated, feeling the weight of the investigation as it unfolded. The attention to detail made the revelation feel grounded, logical, and chilling, transforming a backstage mystery into a compelling narrative about trust, loyalty, and the consequences of systemic dysfunction within the bloodline. The SmackDown confrontation. During Friday night, SmackDown, Nick Aldis orchestrated a high-stakes meeting in the ring with the entire bloodline present, including Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and other key members. The tension was palpable as Aldis displayed footage of the attack, showing movements, reflections, and timing that pointed directly to the attacker. Members of the bloodline were visibly shaken, and even Roman's confidence began to waver as the evidence unfolded. The arena became a pressure cooker of emotion, with fans on the edge of their seats as the investigation reached its climax. When Aldis finally named the perpetrator, the reaction was immediate. Gasps, whispers, and visible shock rippled through the crowd. This moment wasn't just about identifying the assailant, it was about exposing the vulnerability of a group that had long projected invincibility, revealing the personal costs of loyalty within an authoritarian structure. The attacker's bold confession. What elevated this incident from a simple betrayal to a morally complex story was the attacker's own confession. They didn't deny responsibility or attempt to justify themselves superficially. Instead, they delivered a raw, emotionally charged explanation aimed directly at Roman Reigns. The assailant highlighted the sacrifices, physical risks, and personal toll borne by members of the bloodline, arguing that loyalty to Roman had been exploited and weaponized. Jacob Fatu, the ultimate enforcer, became collateral damage in this larger fight against a system that demanded submission at all costs. By framing the attack as a necessary wake-up call rather than a senseless act of violence, the attacker challenged everyone, fans, wrestlers, and Roman himself to reconsider notions of loyalty, family, and justice. Their confession blurred the lines between villainy and righteous rebellion, forcing the audience to grapple with difficult moral questions. Roman Reigns' reaction: silence and reflection. Roman Reigns' response to the revelation was unexpected. Instead of erupting in anger or demanding immediate retaliation, the tribal chief fell silent, seemingly processing the accusations against his leadership. This moment revealed cracks in Roman's composure and challenged his perception of authority. His silence spoke volumes, suggesting that he was forced to confront the human cost of his rigid, top-down management style. Roman had built an empire on discipline, fear, and loyalty. But the attack exposed the resentment lurking beneath the surface. The WWE Universe saw a leader wrestling with vulnerability and doubt, which was as shocking as the betrayal itself. For fans, this nuanced reaction added depth to Roman's character, portraying him as more than just an untouchable champion, a man who must reconcile power with the real emotional and physical consequences for those who serve under him. The bloodline divided. The aftermath of the revelation left the bloodline fractured. Some members remained staunchly loyal to Roman, viewing the attacker's justification as manipulation or cowardice. Others, however, appeared conflicted, quietly acknowledging that the attacker's critique of the family's hierarchy rang true. Even Solo Sikoa, Roman's enforcer and the faction's backbone, hesitated, posing the critical question: if grievances existed, why not simply leave instead of attacking a loyal member? This internal debate underscored the toxic environment Roman had fostered. It was a rare moment where WWE explored the tension between authority and personal agency, loyalty and justice, demonstrating that even the most dominant groups are susceptible to internal dissent. The division within the bloodline highlighted that power alone cannot guarantee unity. Respect, fairness, and acknowledgement of sacrifice are equally crucial. Implications for the bloodline's future. The exposure of betrayal threatens to destabilize the bloodline permanently. Roman's authority, once unchallenged, is now questioned from within, and the loyalty of his inner circle is fractured. The faction faces a crossroads. Will Roman reassert control through fear, or will the cracks revealed by this attack lead to rebellion, defections, or long-term dysfunction? The WWE Universe is left to speculate about the fallout, which alliances will hold, which members may turn, and whether Roman can rebuild trust with his family. Storyline possibilities are abundant. The bloodline could splinter, new factions could emerge, or the attacker could become a symbolic hero for those disillusioned with Roman's authoritarian rule. The implications extend far beyond a single match, influencing the entire SmackDown landscape for months to come. The legacy of leadership and betrayal. Ultimately, this storyline isn't just about a shocking assault or the identity of an attacker. It's about leadership, loyalty, and the human cost of power. Roman Reigns' empire, once viewed as invincible, is now exposed as vulnerable and deeply flawed. The events surrounding Jacob Fatu's attack raise important questions about how leaders treat those who serve them, the responsibilities inherent in power, and the consequences when ambition overshadows care and recognition. Nick Aldis' revelation forced both performers and fans to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty, justice, and the fine line between authority and tyranny. As the bloodline struggles to recover, one thing is clear: WWE has created a storyline that resonates beyond scripted matches, tapping into real human emotions and moral dilemmas, making SmackDown must-watch television for both wrestling fans and story enthusiasts.